Former heavyweight boxing champion Mike Tyson's back in Las Vegas, returning next week to the MGM to perform his one-man show, The Undisputed Truth.
Tyson admits he was out of control during the years when he ruled boxing. In media interviews granted yesterday to promote his show, Tyson spoke candidly about his rise and fall.
And the I-Team's George Knapp sat down with former champ, and not for the first time.
That's right. You might recall, both of you, 4 years ago, we sat down when Undisputed Truth was still being written and rehearsed. Mike Tyson allowed us a behind-the-scenes look at the creative process. Having followed his career closely and being present for many of his biggest fights, it was stunning to see this evolution of Iron Mike. His life is Shakespearean, with more peaks and valleys than most continents, and the public that once saw him as a monster now gets the chance for a second look.
It's a roller coaster ride. It's a roller coaster ride of all type of feeling. And that's
the description is apt, both for Mike Tyson's life and his one-man show. 4 years ago, Las Vegas producer Adam Steck collaborated with Tyson's wife, Kiki. They put together a team, sequestered Tyson in a suite at the MGM, and crossed their fingers.
My stomach got knots. I'm like, oh my God, what did I do? Can he really deliver? Then they went to go see him rehearse. And I was like, man, he's going to blow people's minds.
See, you always have to face your demons, because if you don't, they'll follow you to eternity.
Tyson attacked the project with the same intensity that made him the youngest heavyweight champion in history. It forced him to confront his tumultuous past, and it was clear when we spoke to him back then that a transformation was underway.
Every now and then I see a film of me when I was the crazy guy. You suck my this and that and filth. And I'm looking sometimes and I don't even know that's me.
Las Vegas had been the scene of his greatest triumphs and also the site of his destruction. He was king of the jungle back then, a predator surrounded by hyenas who fed his addictions to sex, drugs, and money. He lost it all, his belts, his marriage, hundreds of millions of dollars, and his freedom. Out of that crucible, a humble Mike Tyson emerged.
Well, you're a confident guy, but did you have any idea it was going to go this well?
No, I'm not a confident guy. But I get the job done. You know, I found out the greatest fighters, you know what I mean? The greatest fighters have the lowest self-esteem, you know? But they make it happen. But they got big egos, though. You know what I mean? And that weird combination balances it out.
After hitting rock bottom, Tyson began the long climb back, aided by his conversion to Islam and the steadying influence of his wife. He showed an unexpected flair for comedy. The one-man show was a hit in Las Vegas, then on Broadway, then toured the world. Famed director Spike Lee made it into a film. He praised Tyson's courage as an actor for confronting the most embarrassing parts of his life. Audiences respond to that, but Iron Mike refuses to let himself off the hook.
I've gotten comfortable with being who I am in life. You know, I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. You know, who are we listening? If we truly are Christians and Muslims and we believe in God, why should we care what anyone says about us?
Is the success of the show a form of redemption?
I don't need to be redeemed. I can't be redeemed. I can only change my way of living.
Is he comfortable being loved by his public?
I don't know about that love. Love is tricky. Love is tricky. I like being respected more because now I have self-respect. And so I understand what it is to be respected.
Undisputed Truth could probably have a long run at the MGM, but the problem is Tyson's time. He's suddenly a hot property with a cartoon series on TV, movie offers, tens of millions of fans in China. He remains a magnet for weirdness, which provides more material for his show. Example, Tyson gave an interview to this guy in Phoenix, then learned later he was a serial killer. While on tour in Australia, he posed for a photo with an ISIS executioner.
I said, how does this guy get next to me? How do people let this guy get next to me? What kind of security do I have? He said, Mike, he paid the ticket for the show. I said, man, they can't be hanging out. These are terrorists. They can't hang out, be partying. Man.
Tyson has taken some grief from fellow Muslims because he's openly endorsed Donald Trump, who financed some of Tyson's biggest fights back in the 80s.
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Remember that, doing that spot? Trump had stolen you away from Las Vegas in Atlantic City?
Now he's gonna take me away. Put me in the White House with him, baby!
He could make you Secretary of Defense.
No, I don't want to be none of that. None of that. It's treasury, baby. Treasury.
Treasury. Unlike the last time we interviewed the former champ, there was a line of other media waiting to speak with him this time, and Tyson's clearly enjoying himself. He was loose and joking, just a different guy altogether from the angry man he used to be. I did slip in a UFO question in the conversation. We'll save that, though, for another time. Undisputed Truth opens at the MGM March 3rd. It's a limited engagement. They say it's going to be a little bit funnier this time, but it changes night to night. They slip different material.
How much time did you have with him?
Like 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, but we made the most of it.
You did?
Yeah,
All right, George.
wonderful, wonderful interview, George.